determined to take everything that is good about the healthcare system in Ontario and turn it inside out. He is setting the stage for privatization, and we are not going to let him. You are the front lines of the defense, and we know that healthcare cuts will hurt. They will harm people. They will make Ontarians sicker. People will die. That is the truth. We cannot sugarcoat it. We cannot cover it with anything else other than the truth. On Friday of the April before the Easter weekend, we were called into a conference call by the Ontario government. And they told the medical officer of health, along with the chair of the Board of Health, is that there were going to be some changes to funding to the Toronto public healthcare system. And so the bracing for us, as we understood it, was that it was going to be $1 billion of cuts over 10 years. Now, the fallout of that was that Toronto was going to be hit the hardest, but it also meant that cities, municipalities, and towns were also going to see their health cuts change. The formula was going to change. Ontario already does not fund Toronto Public Services in terms of healthcare to 100%. Oftentimes it's that cost share of 75 to 25. And now they want to reduce it even more, 60 to 40. This is going to be very harmful. We fought back, along with Mayor Tory, City Council rose. And it is not easy, I tell you, to unite this council. But I'll tell you that they were united. And cities and municipalities across Ontario rose up because this is not just directly impacting Toronto, but it was actually impacting all towns, all municipalities. And everyone fought back. And what did we see? They started to backpedal. After weeks and months of campaigning, Doug Ford's polls plummeted. His popularity fell into the toilet. We know that organizing and protests and resisting, talking to your neighbors, talking to your friends will work. He has been backpedaling and softening his approach. And just as Natalie said, during the spring budget statement, he wants to put on a friendlier face. He wants to make it better. Well, guess what? We're going to see right through that, and we have to remind Ontarians and Torontonians locally that this is not over. Toronto Public Health still has a $14 million gap in our budget coming up. This is a direct result of his cuts. And even if he says he'll defer the cuts, because remember, he made that slice, that cut, in the middle of the year that we were already spending in. He said, we're not going to roll it back. We're going to roll back the retroactive cuts, but next year you're going to have cuts. And now he says, you know what, the following year, 2021, that's when we'll make the cuts. Friends, pressure works. Organizing works. We have to keep the pressure on. Whatever you call it, whatever he decides to call it, backpedaling, deferral, softening, canceling, they are not investments in new services. All he's doing is deferring the cuts. A cut is a cut. And when you cut, people bleed. Toronto Public Health will be seeing a reduction of services when it comes to immunization, disease control, prenatal care, reproductive rights, overdose prevention, and a whole host of other life-saving services. We cannot let him get away with this. Will you let him get away with this? Will we rise up? Will we fight back? We will not retreat. No retreating.